Now the timer just says 0, so I don't know. And we're live. There we are. Yay.
Are we live?
Yay. Look at that.
Can you believe that? Okay, cool. I'm totally down with that.
Yay.
Okay, we are watching the chat. Hello, everyone. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
And I'm Ashley.
Hey, you're over there in the dark. We really need to do something about the lighting.
It's not that bad. Would you please stop?
I guess not.
We can see her and
Yes,
hear her.
That we
It's
can.
fine.
This is let's see. What the hell is the name of this episode?
This is what happens when we leave you in charge.
Why
Yeah.
do we leave him in charge?
Because he insists on being in charge.
I mean, I don't know.
Because he's the founder.
But
Where's the remote at?
I don't know.
it's at my feet. I know exactly what you were planning on doing.
What the name of the episode was?
Let me see it.
I can't reach the kilowatts.
The name of the episode was called Warning
Warning
Signs.
Signs.
And I had that written
Signs.
down somewhere.
Which makes sense.
But
This was an episode full of warning signs.
this is actually Spoiling Dead number 118.
I was fixing to say from the beginning of
Oh.
time.
Yes.
Of this season, I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the
Of
third
the season,
episode
yeah.
of the ninth season, episode 103. This is or no 103, 118. Oh my God. Okay. Once again, Negan was not in this episode.
And Lonnie's real butthurt about it.
No, I mean
Yeah, he is.
I'm not that bothered about it.
Yeah, you
Oh
are.
crap, that was the first thing you mentioned.
Look, I'm gonna say that the fact that Negan is not in this episode, and he was just briefly in last episode, he's gonna pop up when he does. It's gonna count.
Yeah.
I think he'll be in the next episode because it looked like, according to the next episode little preview thing that they had going on, was that he's gonna be there, and it looks like Maggie and Daryl's getting ready to go see him. And
I know, and it's like, what are they going to do when they go see him?
it's
Are
almost
they
like
going to set him on fire with all that gas they were carrying?
but they want to.
Hit him with tomatoes.
You can tell that they want to kill Negan, but God only knows if that'll actually happen. It won't, but
No.
who knows if they'll try.
I think they'll get there and change their minds. I think they'll wimp out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty strong-willed and stuff, but I think when it comes down to it, they know that's really going to piss Rick off. Plus, they can't kill him because, I mean, who else is going to leave after Rick's gone? Because we found out the next 2 episodes is his last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I almost bet that they'll walk in. Rick will walk in to like the little jail area, and I bet freaking Daryl will probably have a knife to his throat, and Rick's gonna be like, no.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, that's likely what I think is gonna happen, but I want to know. They showed it during the previews of the overall season, and I want to know when we're gonna see the Whisperer thing, because there's this scene that was on the cover of that comic book that I had a letter printed in, and these 2 guys are out on patrol. This zombie herd is like walking towards them. They jump down, kind of like in this bank as the zombies are walking by up top. They jump down, they cover themselves up in mud and everything, and they hear the zombies talking to each other.
Yeah.
And that was in the preview. Like for the overall season, we know it's going to happen. That is like my number 1 most look forward to scene right now. Like that's what I want to see happen. In the comic book, there was actually a scene where and I haven't seen anybody like really caring for Negan.
Well, they ain't letting him waste nothing.
Well,
I'm sure there's somebody. They're
somebody's
just not showing it.
somebody's taking care of him, but there was a scene where Negan is trying to get on Rick's good side, trying to show, hey, I seriously want to turn over a new leaf and become part of the community and everything.
No,
And
really.
there was a woman who was in charge of like emptying his, his like bathroom bucket and giving him his
Yeah.
food and everything. she screws up one day and leaves his jail cell open.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
remember you telling me.
Yeah,
this
leaves
now.
it unlocked, and he discovers it. Well, Rick comes down the next morning, and the jail cell's open, and Rick freaks out, locks the cell. It's like, oh my god. Negan's like, well, I could have left. I could have got out, killed people. I could have done any number of things, but I want to show you that I can be trusted. And it didn't work.
Right.
But I see Negan giving a crap about being trusted a lot less on the TV show. They're painting him more as a villain.
Well, he is. I know not in our eyes per se, but
He is the villain.
he is the villain. And what do you do?
I wish that we could get like, I want to find a video that's like basically 20 minutes, Negan in a nutshell, and show you like all the highlights of him.
That sounds like a video you need to make.
It already exists on YouTube, I guarantee it.
Yeah, it probably does.
You could probably
Even if it's just a video of all his one-liners.
Yeah. You could do, like, seriously, I bet you could do every second that Negan is on camera, and I bet it would only be about an hour video, because they never really show. I mean, he's in there quite a bit. The episode where he has Carl at Sanctuary is
It's a really good episode.
probably his longest.
Duration on
Yeah.
the screen. Yeah, definitely.
But for the most part, like, Rick gets a lot more screen time. Rick has 2 more episodes left. Like, what's going to happen?
Kind of makes me sad. But at the same time, it's like, I like the show. Don't get me wrong, but at this point, I'm just like sticking with it to see where it ends.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking might happen, and Rick is going to end up happening upon the whole Jadis and Gabriel thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Rick is going to go in Gabriel's place.
Yep. That's what's
And
going to happen.
we don't know, we won't know for a long time what happened to him. And I'll go ahead and tell you, these aren't Rick's last episodes. He's taking a break. I guarantee he'll be back.
How do you know?
Just a feeling.
For all you know, though, he might get killed second episode, and then that's it.
He might. If he does,
I mean,
I'm
they-
wrong.
To me, I feel like, well, they killed off Carl. Why not anybody else? I mean, no one's.
What about Michonne, though? I think that Rick will get her pregnant and then die. That would be pretty
I
nice.
swear,
again?
that's not going to happen in 2 episodes.
God. Like, somebody else get pregnant and then their SO dies?
I'll go ahead and tell you,
Ah.
the minute a woman gets pregnant, that's death sentence for the husband, boyfriend.
Or the mother, I mean.
Yeah.
That did happen, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Lori died giving birth. Oh, Mary's on. Hey.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey, Mary.
I don't, like, I really, oh, God. Like, they did confirm that the next 2 episodes are his last. It's not like, 2 episodes left, but is it going to be like episode 4 and episode 11? No, it's.
This is the next two.
Next two
Next two,
is,
yeah.
yeah, they didn't.
That's another thing. I don't. Something's up. Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if they kill Rick off, this is my reasoning. If they were to kill Rick off, they would have kept it a secret. If he's leaving the show, just leaving, that's why they're advertising it. They're not going to advertise it if he's going to die. I'm telling you, that would have been a... I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that he's going to die. His fate is going to be left open-ended, and I guarantee you it'll be a year or more before we find out.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying anything's possible.
I
That's
think-
all I'm saying.
Honest to God, I think he's going to disappear. We're not going to see him for a year and a half or 2 years, and when we finally make it to the Commonwealth, whenever that story hits, he will have been there. But also, the only reason I don't buy that in a way is because he wouldn't leave Michonne and Judith.
I was fixing to say, I don't believe that for a minute. He
Yeah.
would leave them too.
Or I don't know. I've got a lot of different theories that could happen.
Yeah, you're on the roll.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
liking this.
But they end up at Commonwealth. Everybody's looking around. Everything looks good. And then 3 or 4 episodes in, somebody happens upon like a little work camp that they have or something, and Rick is there toiling away. And that's when everything starts to fall apart. I don't know. We'll see. I have a number of ideas, and there's like really no freaking telling. So what do we think about Oceanside being revealed as the ones who are killing off saviors?
I was like, wow, I really didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming, but I can appreciate it.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And I'm totally down with Daryl and Maggie just turning around and letting them do their thing.
Yeah, the whole, vigilante justice thing really speaks to me. I liked that.
Right.
Yeah, because
I mean, she tried to say, I'm a different person, blah, 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 blah. And that's all well and good. But she could have just made a statement without being extra about it. She made the girl beg for her brother's life. And she was extra about it. There was no reason for it. And maybe if she had just been doing her job like she claimed that she was doing.
She enjoyed it.
Yeah. She was.
And I totally get that.
And
she didn't show that little boy any mercy. So she doesn't deserve any. Like,
even Carol showed them girls mercy. She told them to look at the flowers before she shot them.
Mm-hmm.
Crap. I mean,
I'm totally on board with the way Maggie and Daryl are doing things. Yeah. There's no easy answers, but I also don't think letting everybody live
is a thing
in the apocalypse. Yeah, and
it's not.
I think the old way of doing things is out the window. I really think a death penalty in the apocalypse is doable.
Maggie did feel bad a little bit when she said, "You showed us the way."
Yeah,
but
that's a hard pill to swallow if you're Maggie.
But at the same time, when she heard everything that she had done, she's like, "Fuck it,"
Really the whole episode revolved around trying to figure out who was kidnapping saviors. There actually was kind of a brawl that broke out between the communities and the saviors, and it's just it's building to that, but I don't think we'll ever really see. Well, I mean, the saviors packed up and left the project.
Yep.
And
but what I mean,
there's really a kind of a thought process that this bridge that they're building is going to somehow tie into Rick's end.
Yeah.
Him falling into the water or something. I don't know. But there is a lot of thought that the bridge is going to be the demise of Rick, and
well, and I can see the bridge being built, and then Rick leaves, and then the bridge somehow gets destroyed. The bridge is like symbolic of what he's trying to do. In the show.
Because that is what he's trying to do. He is trying to bridge all the communities together.
He is the bridge.
That bridge is it is. There's a lot of symbolism going on here.
The tomato, that was my favorite thing. In the beginning of the episode, I know it's dumb.
No,
but
it's
I
not,
don't think
but it
that
was
it was
perfect symbolism.
In the beginning of the episode, it was plump and ready.
It looked good.
To,
it did. It looked like good. It looked like everything was gonna work out.
And then somewhere in the middle to end of the episode, you see it getting
very end
stepped on
and smushed, and it was destroyed. And that's exactly what's gonna happen.
That's what's happening, with all the people too.
Here's a thing. I want to give our ratings, and then I'll really have something on my mind that has been bugging me all week about this show.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this episode, I'm going to give this episode a 10.
10.
Yeah.
Really?
I was
I mean, it was good, but wasn't that damn good.
I was really impressed,
Oh, well.
and this show kept my attention. This episode kept my attention more so than the last episode did.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we finally found out who was kidnapping the saviors. That was a payoff.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that Daryl and Maggie allowed them to kill that woman. I think it was well deserved. Seeing Rick, Michonne, and Judas, what I'm assuming is their last good time together, which was interrupted by bad news. I think that's this episode is going to be remembered for that. And it was just good. It was everybody out on the road trying to figure out what was going on, and just it was a good episode, and like the beginning and end symbolism that, you know, that kind of stuff reminds me of like seasons 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
You remember like in season 2, you know, Shane saw the walker by itself out in the field at the beginning and the end of the episode, and it kind of bridges gaps and stuff. And they've gotten back to that storytelling, that kind of, you know, that kind of storytelling. So I'm totally good with it. I'm 10. It's not an 11 episode by any means.
No.
Like it's not, you know, it doesn't have like the power of like a season finale or, you know, one of the major death episodes or anything. But a 10. This was just a good episode all the way around. It's like this episode didn't have any flaws, but it didn't have that explosion that made it an 11. So.
Well, I'm gonna say 9. So I don't think it was perfect, but it had a lot of good stuff in it there.
To me, they're getting better and better all season.
I mean, I could always go for some more zombie kills. That's just me.
Oh God, with the neck one.
That was so cool.
Like
it was so gross, but it was so great.
That was awesome.
It was like, ew.
Could you imagine?
Then I wondered if it got in her wound.
Oh yeah. Oh. Could you imagine having to like hold the neck of, you know, a being whose neck was caving in?
And you're probably
like
feeling bone and everything in there.
No.
It's wiggling and it's warm
It's
or cold.
nasty.
I mean, you don't know.
It's cold because I don't
cold.
think they maintain a body
They're
temperature.
dead, you know?
But yeah, it's rough.
Oh God. Textures and
The
nasty.
textures.
But anyway.
But
What do you think, Ash?
So I gave last week's episode I think an 8.
I think y'all were like 8, 10, and then I was in the middle. No,
No, I gave it 11. Last
Last
week's was
season,
way better than this one.
Yeah, I didn't like this episode as much as last week's. So
Yeah.
maybe 7.5.
That's funny because we've all three been all over the place with
Yeah.
these ratings. It's
Well,
crazy.
And I have a different, perspective
Yeah,
than y'all do.
she has a
but-
different perspective than us. But
And another thing, the whole Oceanside deal with them killing, they did a really good job of explaining to first-time viewers why they were pissed off.
Yeah.
Like you got that. It did. They did a really good job. You wasn't left wondering, well, why'd that happen? No,
But then again, I'm like, I can't believe you were just such a fan of that because you can't stand them and you hated their story.
this redeemed them.
It doesn't matter. Like, you didn't give two shits about it.
No, I mean, I did because they to me, they were like a more boring. The only thing I liked about
why?
them was,
It's because you're not a woman.
well, no, I mean, I can appreciate.
Because it's really a story about women who were, taken advantage of. They killed all the men.
Yeah.
They killed every bit of them.
And then they left to stay alive.
Yeah, and had to go into hiding, and I told her that's why I always like their story
I
because
can
it's
appreciate
really right. It's women's rights and the zombie apocalypse, man. Like,
the thing that has bothered me a lot of the online chatter over the past week is these episodes are really good. This season is like some of the best Walking Dead storytelling since like
forever.
the middle of season 6 at least, when they were teasing Negan. Those were like some amazing episodes.
Those were really good.
And me personally, Negan has been the best part of The Walking Dead so far, but the episodes were lacking overall. So, but a lot of people now are like, I wish they just cancel the show. This show sucks. And, you know, people are like, well, have you seen any episodes this season? Well, I haven't watched it since they brought Negan in. There's your problem. You can't complain about these episodes because just about every TV show has kind of a downward slope. You know, they have their downtimes. And this, granted, The Walking Dead season 7 and 8, technically were kind of, that was a long stretch of up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
And I know people probably didn't want to stick around for 2 seasons, but it bothers me that people are completely dismissing these episodes without even looking at them, without watching them, without paying any attention to what's going on.
Right.
I'm done with The Walking Dead. Walking Dead sucks. But people aren't watching.
Well, some people
this
are
season.
just over it.
I know, and I hate it. Because I'll admit, The Walking Dead, they did screw things up. Like around season 6 when, you know, everybody, you know, we know a lot of people who were like, I quit watching when they faked Lynn's death.
Yep.
That whole thing. The dumpster issue. Like, a lot of people didn't like, you know, the Beth at the hospital. Everybody hated her character.
Everybody. The only person I've heard say that was you.
I've seen it. No.
Oh, you.
I didn't like the episodes, but Beth was a wildly unpopular character. Like when she died, nobody cared.
Okay.
A lot of people, even though they liked those episodes, they didn't like the character.
Okay.
Now,
I'm just gonna take your word for it.
And
People
looked
where we weren't reading.
I know.
people looked at Negan like too much of an over-the-top, cartoony character. And
but that's how he is in the comics,
that's
is it
just
not?
his, yeah.
So
and people I think it's just the fact that people don't like him. You know, I mean, he shows up. The first half of season 7 was wildly negative. They were just like Alexandria was just constantly getting their asses handed to them every episode. Every episode. And just constantly. There was zero positivity, zero hope, zero anything. It was just like 8 episodes of down. Depression. Everything's gone to hell. You know, we're not going to make
That
it.
can be, you know, mentally and emotionally taxing on an audience. You know, life is hard enough, and some people watch TV to unwind. And, you know, if you're going through whatever you're going through in real life, you don't want to turn on the TV and then be bombarded with more, you know, bad news and feeling hopeless.
Yeah, some people cannot handle that.
You know?
You're correct.
Also, the show is 9 seasons, and how many people have been in this cast, you know? There's gotta be characters that people don't like or they do like, and they're mad that they're dead, and so it makes sense that people have fallen off at random places.
People were like, oh, you know, they killed off, you know, Carl last season, and they're saying, you know, oh God, if they kill Rick, there's just nothing left to watch.
Well, they might not be for them, though. You can't really be
people?
mad about that.
Yeah.
It was like the people, oh, you know, if Daryl dies, you know, we're gonna quit watching.
Well, let them.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
But that's the reason we have like such a strong ensemble cast. You've got Negan, which I know people hate him, but still he's there. Daryl, Maggie. Like Daryl and Maggie are going to be the leads of this show when Daryl leaves. They are already the top paid.
When Rick leaves.
What'd I say?
Daryl.
Well, whenever Rick leaves, like Daryl and Maggie will be the top paid characters. You know, the top paid actors. They're the leads. But then, I mean, think about it. You've got Jesus, you've got Carol, you've got Ezekiel, you've got Dwight's coming back, I guarantee.
But regardless of who we got, it don't matter if that's not your favorite.
Yeah.
That's what you're missing here.
Well, you know how many favorite characters I went through in the first 5 seasons?
Okay, I understand that, but
Holy
People
crap.
don't
Can I
look at
just
it,
say,
you know, objectively.
not everyone's you.
True. I guess.
Okay? And, like, I relate. Like, I understand. I really like the show. And if they get rid of one of my characters that I like, Well, it is what it is. Not everyone's like that. They get rid of the cat. I don't want to watch it. That person's not on there anymore. Oh well.
Yeah, it was like I absolutely hated it when they killed off Dale.
Mhm.
I hated it when they killed off Herschel. I hated it when they killed off Merle. I hated it
The
when
tiger. The tiger.
yeah,
Oh,
I hated
gosh.
it
That
when
was
they killed
awful.
Shiva more than when they killed Abraham or Glenn. So it's like, but I
He
knew it was
really
coming.
upset.
I
He
knew
so
it was
upset.
coming. God, I knew it was coming. And as soon as that tiger jumped down into them zombies, I was like, son of a bitch. Here it is. So like I can't even watch the freaking like the
Recap of
the
it.
recap
Yeah.
that we were watching. I was like, ah,
Got him misty.
damn it.
Misty eyed.
I'm sure it did.
And it sucked.
It does.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, this episode's pretty good. We got another 2 great episodes, and it's weird because the next 2 episodes are going to be episodes 4 and 5. I was under the impression that Rick had 6 episodes this season. That was what everybody was saying, but apparently he's only going to be in the first 5.
I mean,
I'm telling
whatever.
you, Rick's coming back. Their whole marketing, all the Rick's final episodes, is going to be the biggest bullshit since the Glenn Dumpster
Since
thing.
who shot JR?
I'm telling you, they AMC. I'm going to go ahead and like I wish I could do like some kind of little wager, like I'll do this on the air if Rick's really dead. But no, I'm telling you, Rick is going to be alive and he will be back. That's I'm giving like the meteorologist Lonnie is given a 98% chance
Shut.
of Rick coming back.
Oh, let's wrap after that statement, please.
Okay, dad jokes.
Zombieologist Lonnie.
Wow.
Okay, that's better.
It took me a minute.
It's fine.
But anyway, I guess we will wrap. Remember, I will be back on tomorrow with Mike and Zoe at 12:30 Eastern. We're going to be playing Borderlands. And if I can help it, I'm going to be on really, 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 really late tomorrow night at midnight for the launch of the Spider-Man Black Cat DLC. So I'm hoping for that. If I make it to midnight and it doesn't release yet, then I'll be on as early as possible Tuesday morning. So. But anyway, that is it for what was it? Warning Signs.
Yes.
Season 9, Episode 3 of The Walking Dead, number 118 of The Spoiling Dead. 118th review that we have done. And that's pretty much going to be a wrap. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
And I'm Ashley.
We are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux, your local Satanist, Chattanooga, Tennessee. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Trying to get it to stop.